was in 1988, and a friend of mine who had a very tiny restaurant, a very boutique restaurant, about 25 covers, was hired by an hotel to do a party for about 550 people, 600 people. And he asked me to join the team and to help them during that time, and I of course went and was part of the team. And we were about 4 or 5 cooks to do a tasting menu for 550 people, which was absolutely insane and crazy to think we would be able to do that. The waiters also, there was a small group of waiters, maybe like 10, 12 waiters. And what happened is, of course, was a disaster because the food couldn't come out of the kitchen. Whatever was coming out of the kitchen was piled up by the waiters. I remember we had a ravioli of shrimp or crayfish, and they will take the china like that with the raviolis and then pile it up with another plate and another plate and another plate, and we'll go in the dining room like that. Half of the dining room never saw the food coming at them, or maybe not half, but a good third of it. And then people started to be angry in that room and wanted to come in the kitchen, and they were trying to steal their food. So I think that was probably the worst nightmare I have seen. I don't eat oatmeal. And actually this morning I had a discussion at home about oatmeal. And since I am when I was 3 years old, I was taking the spoon and throwing the oatmeal like that around, not because I was a prima donna, but I thought it was funny. And from that day I never liked oatmeal, and it's something, it's the gooiness of it, or I don't know. I mean, to me it's something that I cannot really have. And then brains. And when I was cooked brains, not like Tony raw monkey brains, but when I was a kid, it was very popular for parents to give brain to the kids because supposedly it was making the kids smarter. So they really tried to give me brains in any way possible, and I have never been able to eat brains. I don't go to fast food in general. It happens that every year I enter by mistake and I have the entire package with the Coca-Cola and the fries and the pie and of course the awful burger. And what's vicious about that kind of food is that it must be so many unnatural flavors into the food. It's that when you eat it, you really finish it. You know, for some reason it becomes addictive. And then, of course, an hour later you regret it for another year. But I go sometimes. You know, in the middle of the night, it happens that I get up very often and I go to the fridge, and I usually storm the fridge. And a chorizo or whatever dry meat is in that fridge usually disappear over the night. Like you know, you go to bed and you have some sausage and cured meats, and then on the morning you just see something on a counter, and that will be, if I don't really feel guilty about it, but if it was a guilty pleasure, that would be the one. Yeah, it's true that I'm not invited very often. However, for instance, this week I was invited in a house of a friend of mine who's actually a journalist covering food, and they cooked everything caribou, and it was a tasting menu around caribou, and you know, it's fun. And when I go out, I'm not necessarily judgmental and surveying the food and looking at the food the way I would do in a restaurant. So I encourage my friends to invite me more. I love to go there and enjoy with them and party and drink and eat good food.